Korossy.
Yes.
Where did he do it?
Good afternoon, everybody. Try it again. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Shane, go to ISS, please. I'm just kidding. Relax.
Comedy.
All right. So this class is going to involve need some engaging from you guys.
Yeah.
Some questions answered, and we're going to have a test at the end.
Wait. Is it with the grade?
Absolutely.
I'm putting it in right now.
Wait, no, please, don't do that.
Yours is so slow. There's
If I have used for a grade,
All right. I'm just kidding about the test, but I asked that you give me attention and also your fellow classmates when they're speaking.
Yeah, okay.
As I said, my name is Steve Korossy. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. Lived there for 39 and a half years and moved down here almost 5 years ago. I'm 44 now. I coach here at the high school for boys basketball. Been with the program 4 or 5 years now. My son graduated from here a year and a half ago. Like I said, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. And I'm going to ask you some questions. Who here loves, how did you feel about animals when you were growing up, like I was a little kid?
I love animals, like, you're the best thing ever.
All right, so we're going to go around. We're going to go around. You can name me your favorite animal. Go. Rabbit. Tiger. Duck. Pick one. Giraffe. Raccoon. Dog. Cat.
Panthers.
Panther. Tiger.
Chinchillas.
Chinchilla. What's that? Horses. Tiger. What is it? Dogs. Penguins. What is it? Kiwi. Okay.
Oh, what?
Panda.
Is that?
Dog.
I don't have one.
You gotta pick one. You had all day to think of one.
I still don't have one.
Come on, pick one.
A dog.
Dog. Okay. Giraffe. Yeah. Elephant.
Cheetah.
Cheetah. Dog. Dog.
Timberwolf.
Timberwolf. Cheetah. Would you say you love animals more when you were little, or now, or the same?
Neutral.
Neutral? Raise your hand if you love animals more now than when you were little. Raise your hand if you love animals less now than you did when you were little. Raise your hand if you're kind of indifferent.
I'm kind of neutral. I like most of that.
We'll switch gears a little bit. Does all sentient life have the same right to this world?
Yes.
What does that mean, sentient?
Sentient is a life that has similar feelings to us. Smell, taste, feel, heartbeat, all that stuff. Does all sentient life have the same right to this world? Do they have the right to live without being brutalized?
Yeah.
Whether it be blacks, whites, dogs, cats. So let me ask you this. Why do we love dogs and cats?
Because they're cute.
Hold on. Why do we love dogs and cats, but create hell on earth for the other animals?
Because they've been domesticated.
Okay, so what about in Asian countries where they eat dogs and cats?
Wait, what? Oh,
You didn't know this?
I did, but still shocked by me.
This is the way
He had a chain? Will you do that?
You love dogs and cats because you were raised to believe the story that you're supposed to love dogs and cats. Who has my prop?
Nice. You know you're not supposed to spray stuff in here.
Okay. Excuse me. I'll get right back. If every day since you were little, I tell you this here's a mango. When you grow up, what are you going to call it?
A phone?
No.
Wait, what are you talking
Every
about?
day from the time you're little, you're told that this is a mango. What are you going to call it?
Mango.
Mango.
Yeah, mango, okay.
Because you've been taught what to believe.
Okay.
So I'll ask you again. Why do we love dogs and cats?
Because you're taught to love dogs
Treat
and
them like
cats.
example, but other animals we don't. But I went around the room and asked your favorite animal, and this is the class that gave me the most diverse answer. Animal, it's a category. So why am I talking about animals? Because it's my passion.
Animals are cute, right? Like the cutest things.
It's my passion. Animals are my passion. They're innocent beings. Okay? When I was 8 years old, I was in Cleveland, Ohio. I saw a picture of a slaughterhouse.
Wait, hold on a minute.
Never ate animals again.
Please don't say that. You don't even want to.
No, slaughterhouse. Hold on.
I've never ate it.
So in elementary school, listen up. In elementary school,
don't.
I was the only vegetarian out of 500 students.
Ooh.
In high school, I went to an all-boys Catholic high school. 2,500 students. the only vegetarian, the only one that was different than everybody else. And it was a difference because of what was in my soul. So you didn't think I get ragged on? Of course I did. Made fun of? Of course. But I knew it was the right thing to do. When I turned 21, my oldest daughter was about to be born, and I had no idea what the hell on earth that went on in the dairy industry. And I started doing some research. Unfortunately, as a kid, I ate ice cream and cheese. I had no idea what goes on. And then when I started researching, I learned the horrors. And that's when I went vegan. Raised my kids to be vegan since birth. My oldest daughter will be 23 next month. My son just turned 20, and my youngest daughter is 16. When they were 5, before they started school, I showed them slaughterhouse videos. So they understand why we don't eat animals, but everybody else around them will. Because everybody else is used to getting a Happy Meal at McDonald's. And getting a toy. You're brainwashed into thinking that that's normal. If I took a chicken right now, right here, hung them upside down, and ate them right here in front of you, what would you think of me?
I would walk out.
But yet, nobody in here will bat an eye, I don't think, to go to Chick-fil-A and get a sandwich with the same thing.
Well,
I mean,
I'm definitely going to check.
is it a lie or real?
Is there a difference?
Please, no.
See, I think
All right, let me ask you this. Listen up. Why do people as children start eating animals?
Because that's how they were taught.
Culture, religion, tradition,
And
and advertising.
okay.
You continue in the same cycle because that's what you always did.
All right.
So I'm here to awaken you a little bit. Why? Because it's my passion. So I'm going to cover my passion, and then I'm going to cover my career. Careers, plural. So, do you ever wonder why we drink cow's milk, but not cat's milk, rat's milk, dog's milk, kangaroo milk?
Wait, rabbit all make milk?
Yes, all mammals produce milk. Cows produce milk because they're
Rats
mammals.
too? I don't think
Humans produce milk. Human females, as the female in any species, produces milk. It's a natural cycle of life. Listen up, please.
I'm sorry. Okay.
They produce milk. It's a natural cycle of life. Cow's milk is designed for baby cows to grow to full size very quickly. Cows artificially inseminated on a device in the dairy industry known as a rape rack. Okay, they carry a baby 9 months, baby calf. Then the day they're born, the baby's taken away. Because they don't want, the industry doesn't want the baby calf to bring mama's milk. They want to take mama's milk and put it in the cartons and make it ice cream and cheese.
So like,
If the baby's a female, they're cycled into the industry. If the baby's a male, they're put in a dark room for 3 months, and then after 3 months or so, they're killed. That's veal. Baby calf.
are people really that cool?
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Every day in this country, or every year in the United States, this is just one country in the world, over 10 billion land animals are murdered.
Oh,
Over
okay.
18 billion sea animals are killed.
Wow.
For Thanksgiving that's coming up, every year in this country, over 46 million turkeys lose their life.
I swear to God, it's chain or whatever.
Why? Why do we do this to our fellow beings, these innocent beings that were brought here into this world?
Is somebody
I'm
crying?
confused. I'm confused.
This is to open your eyes.
I don't want this. I don't want that to happen.
how do they think they got chicken?
I'm having second thoughts now. Okay? You're giving me
What
second
is Cheeto
thoughts.
gonna cry?
Here, the basic foundation of every major religion in the world is what?
You're talking about like life choices now.
Treat others the way you would
be
want to be
treated.
treated. By what you spend your dollars on, you determine what that money pays for. So while the animal that you're eating might be dead, by you buying it, you're paying for the horrors to happen to the next
I
day.
can see that.
By supply and demand.
I can see it.
So I'm not here to change anybody. I'm here just to make you aware of what's going on, and if you have it within yourself to make the change, you make the change.
Daddy.
Because unfortunately, what I'm saying now, you won't see in the nice commercials on TV. But I caught, who's seen the movie The Matrix?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, where are you? Am I that old?
I was 2003. That movie came out a year after I was born.
So The Matrix. I call the world that we live in the Matrix.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because it's all around. McDonald's, Taco Bell, Burger King, Longhorn Steakhouse, Outback Steakhouse, Chick-fil-A. All these advertisements that are out there to get you to like what you like and not like what you like, they program. Do you think it's a coincidence that what's on TV is called a TV program?
Yes. Oh, no. What is it?
It gets, the TV and advertising gets you to buy things and not buy things and like this or like that. You have to open your mind a little bit. And I've always said this. Number one, I heard this a long time ago and it's always stuck to my core. Be the change you want to see in the world. That's
Okay.
number one. And number two is, you can't change the world, but you can change the world immediately around you for the better.
Okay.
So why continue the atrocities that are being done by the previous generation? Why continue it? At one time, slavery in this country was legal.
Yeah.
You guys remember that, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And not too long ago, women were not equal to men, right?
Yeah, totally.
And the common belief is that animals are not equal to humans.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Everyone, there are species.
All speciesist, very good. That's the first time I heard that. Speciesist. You think that because you're human, you're this species, that you're dominant over everything. We're born with compassion. We're born, when you see an animal hurt, you want to help.
Yes.
So let's talk about health. Everybody says health.
Health.
World Health Organization.
I'm a diabetic.
World Health Organization classifies. Listen. The World Health Organization classifies processed meat.
We're talking about health, so.
Listen, as a class A carcinogen, the same as cigarettes. Cancer causing. But yet, if you go on the American Cancer Society website, they'll advertise eating animal products.
Okay,
Yes.
so like, isn't the food, it's pretty much like the food you eat is causing the cancer?
Absolutely.
And like yogurt.
Your diet and what you consume
I know too much.
is your number one factor of your health. Number one.
Oh, and
Food that you eat and yogurt cause cancer.
Yup. The animals get cancer too.
It's
And
like a
they just cut
lot
off
of
what they
science
see.
and stuff like that.
Plus, you're secondhand getting the steroids, the hormones, the antibiotics, all that stuff in the animal's flesh or their milk. And I'm here telling you, you don't have to do it. Nowadays, it's so easy to go plant-based. All you have to do is go into the store and do I buy this product, which causes harm, or this one. That's a plant-based version. But you get the same textures, tastes. Because everybody says, oh, meat tastes good. Does it?
No, no.
How many of you ride by an animal that's run over on the side of the road and get hungry? No, because most people are,
I've considered it.
most people are repulsed by the sight and smell of death. So, take that forward. We're in the information age. The truth is right there on your phone. You can pull it up on YouTube. Every day in this country, 300,000 male chicks are ground up alive because they don't need male chicks in the egg industry. Look it up. The truth is there. I didn't have the truth when I was little. I only got a little bit.
There was no internet.
There was no internet when I was little.
No AirPods either.
That's right.
No.
All right, so who in here recycles?
I definitely recycle.
Why do you recycle?
Because it's a good thing to do. It helps us.
Do you know animal agriculture is the biggest polluter there is?
Wait, really?
Absolutely.
that's why we have so much plastic in here.
Total.
The animal industry, both from the leaching of their feces into the water supply, okay, through the waste of the water that we use to raise that animal just to eat its flesh. I get this all the time. Where do you get your protein, right? Somebody was gonna ask me that today, right?
My mother asks me that all the time.
Where do you get your protein?
Plants.
Where does the gorilla get their protein?
From plants.
How about gorillas?
Plants.
How about elephants and giraffes?
Plants.
Rhinoceros?
Plants.
Cows? Plants.
Plants.
There's some great documentaries on Netflix. One of them is called What the Hell, if you're concerned about the health aspect of it.
Don't watch it.
And there's a new one called Game Changers. Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it. It talks about the great benefits of a plant-based diet. A lot of kids are labeled ADHD now,
You know what's
right? You know what it is?
Yeah, I'm labeled ADHD.
You know what it is?
No.
Too much sugar.
What?
You eat foods with too much sugar, and it winds you up. Too
Unless
many
trash
carbs,
don't have a
carbs
seed.
that turn into sugar in your
But I
body
got ADHD though.
because of what you're eating. That's what makes you eat. Try changing your diet and see if it's the same.
I do.
All right, now we're gonna switch gears a little bit. Career. Yes.
That's the truth. I
Doesn't affect everybody the same way. Yes.
So like,
I disagree with everything you just said.
You what? I'm sorry.
What are you talking about?
I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying try to change your diet. Eat less sugars and see if it helps.
What he's saying is not a lie. It's on Netflix. It's not a lie.
But it's on Netflix.
Listen.
I researched it myself.
Watch the documentary, What the Hell?
No,
okay,
not
I will
to-
watch it. Mine goes home.
Okay?
Yeah. Because
Alright,
I've seen
so now we're gonna switch gears into the career.
I've seen it too, but I like
And before I've seen documentaries, I couldn't One thing I like too much is chicken.
Listen, now we're gonna talk about career, my career. At 26, I went through the police academy, and I was second in my class. In high school, you know where I sat? Right there where those two guys were sitting with my head down. Because I went to Northwest Catholic High School and didn't want to be there. I wanted to be in a co-ed school. So I didn't put a lot of effort into high school. So I went to a college prep school. I should have got a lot out of it, but I didn't. So I managed. I got C's and stuff. Some A's, but usually C's. Because I didn't try. Police Academy, I was second in my class because I cared about it. I was invested.
Because police are cool.
So I spent 15 years in the profession, and I will tell you, it's not what you think it is. If anybody's thinking about getting in the profession, I would discourage you.
I want to be in
Because you don't get, I went into it for the cliche reasons. The reason to help people, to make a difference.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. The system's very corrupt. There is no justice in the justice system. And if you have money, you can get away with a lot more than if you don't have money. Who knows what Miranda rights are?
Ooh, wait, but I don't know what.
Yes, in my corner back there.
It's like the rights that the police officers shall use before they get arrested.
What does it apply to?
Your rights, your freedom.
You have the right to remain silent.
Do we know where Miranda rights came from?
I don't know.
It was a case in the 60s. It was a man named with the last name Miranda.
Miranda?
He had confessed to a crime, but he didn't know his right, that he didn't have to speak. And he got convicted. And then he fought it and ended up winning. And now we have what's called the Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. What does that mean?
You don't gotta talk.
Shh.
Don't
Shut up.
say anything, bro.
Shh. When I got into the profession, I would say always talk to the police, tell them everything. But my experience seeing other police officers, just be respectful, do what they tell you, don't argue, but know your rights. And the first one is don't talk, because it can be used against you.
His phone's about to die.
And, all right, so if I respond to a scene and I'm a cop and I'm asking you questions,
Wait, no, me, not me.
do you have to talk to me?
No, because that's right to remain silent.
Correct. Do I have to give you Miranda rights if I'm just asking you something in the field? No.
What?
Nope, the only time Miranda
Oh wait.
is required is,
Yeah, Miranda.
listen, is custodial interrogation, meaning you don't have the freedom to leave.
Okay.
That's the only time that Miranda applies. So if you're at the jail, you're in custody, you can't leave, Miranda applies if they're gonna question you. But if you volunteer information without being asked, it could be used against you. So if you get nervous and start talking a bunch of stuff that's not even true half the time because you're so nervous, that could be used against you. As long as they're not asking you questions, it can be used against you. So also, you are who you roll with. So let's say you were rolling with 4 of your friends, actually 3 of your friends, and one guy in the back corner is a friend of a friend, right? And let's say you guys get pulled over, one thing leads to another, cop suspects something, searches the car. Can he search your car?
Yeah.
You have to give him consent.
Yeah.
You have to give him consent.
You need what? They search your car.
A warrant.
A warrant? What else?
I don't know what else.
A reason, like,
You need a warrant, you need consent from the owner, or,
A valid reason.
well, what's a valid reason? Go
Like if
further.
you smell weed or something.
Right, and if you smell, if there's evidence of contraband, drugs, okay? Well, what if the cop says, hey, just let me search your car?
No, get the heck out. We're not coming out of there. Just say no.
But hey, if you have nothing to hide, you just let me search your car.
Okay, fine, go ahead.
See, then
And
you
then you
just
fell
gave up
for
your
peer
rights
pressure.
just because you were talking to
You
them.
come on.
You fell for the peer pressure.
No, they go.
But anyway, so that example of your friend of a friend who's sitting in the back seat, He had a bag of cocaine on him and he stuffed it in the seat when you guys got pulled over.
Yep.
Cocaine on mine.
Guess what?
Y'all go
Who gets
to jail.
charged with it?
Everyone.
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 Everyone goes.
You.
And guess what? You want scholarships? You want scholarships for college?
Yes, let's go.
If you have any drug conviction, you're done.
One.
No scholarship.
That's it, you're dead.
You're done. No scholarships.
Yeah.
One of the questions on the fast reform, if you've ever been convicted of a drug offense.
I don't know how to answer these questions.
Don't answer it.
So, here's an example of a story.
Give me a story.
Ready? Story time.
Yay! Story time.
So I was working a shift, this was back in like 2006 or so. Listen up. So, I was a shift sergeant, and the next shift after us was shorthanded, so I volunteered to stay over as extra coverage. But they had their sergeant that was supervising, so I was just there as an extra body. New officer arrests a girl for being drunk at the bar. He goes over to his sergeant, he says, while I was booking her at the station and going through her stuff and inventorying everything, he found pills in her purse that don't belong to her. Based on that information alone, his sergeant told him to charge her with it, which would be a felony drug possession charge. So I heard this and I said, what? And they looked at me like I had 3 heads. And I said, what investigation did you do? They're like, what are you talking about? I said, whose pills are they? Why does she have them? What are they? So I said, go back there. She's in your custody. Give her her Miranda rights and ask her these questions. So he comes back to me a little later and he says, it's her sister's prescription for Zoloft. And she was holding them for her sister in her purse, and that she's also on the same prescription but didn't bring her pills because she took her medication earlier that day. I said, did you confirm with the sister? He's like, no. Did you call the pharmacy to make sure the scripts are good? He's like, no. I said, did you look in the drug book to make sure the pills look like the ones in the drug book for Zoloft? He's like, no. Go do that. So he comes back to me a little later and says, the sister confirmed it, pharmacy said the scripts are good, and the pictures look like the ones in the drug book. And he still was gonna charge this girl with felony drug possession. So I look at him and I said, do you have a brother? And he says, yes. And I said, so let's say your brother had surgery and they prescribe him Vicodin for the pain. So you go to Walgreens to pick up his prescription. Are they gonna give him his brother's Vicodin?
Yeah.
Who says yes?
I did.
Who says no?
No.
They will give you the controlled substance. In many cases, all you need is the person's name and date of birth. In some certain situations, if they're scheduled drugs, then you need ID. So, you get your brother's Vicodin, you get in your car, you're driving home, you get pulled over by a cop. One thing leads to another, he searches the car and finds the Vicodin in your possession that doesn't belong to you. Are you a felon?
Yeah.
No.
No, yes.
Yes.
By the letter of the law, yes.
Yes. Ah.
Technically.
I said no.
But are you gonna ruin somebody's life over that?
Yes.
There's the letter of the law versus color of the law, the intent of the law.
Does I say no?
What's that?
Should I say no?
Just listen.
I can't.
Just listen.
Because if you
So-
got the pills, but you're not doing nothing with them, like I said, bring it to a.
So, some of you guys, I'm sure all of you guys don't remember Paul Harvey. Your teacher does. I do. Paul Harvey was a guy on the radio. Paul Harvey used to have this really sad story, and at the end, he'd say, now we'll be back for the rest of the story. And then he'd come back from commercial break, and he'd have a real quick summary of the sad story, and he would say, and now, the rest of the story. So the girl who was at the station, because she got arrested for being drunk at the bar, and had her sister Zoloft in her purse, we found out that girl, when she was released,
I cannot hear him. Come on.
she was in nursing school. Where would her career have gone if she has a felony drug charge on her? Even if it's dismissed later. Done.
Yeah.
She's done. And that goes on all the time. So be careful the situation you put yourself in, because it could happen at all times. One of my biggest accomplishment that I consider my biggest accomplishment in law enforcement, and I've got life-saving awards and all kinds of awards, but I was part of my responsibility, I was a juvenile officer, so I made policies for the department on how we handle juveniles. And it was always, if we have to deal with a juvenile, we bring them back to the station, make their parents come get them. While waiting for the parents to come get them, I'm lecturing. So there was a local kid who kept on getting in trouble. And the one time I busted him, he was like 13 or 14, and busted him for underage drinking. He was hammered. Okay, so we take him back to the station, give him the talking to, call his parents. He's got rich parents, they take him home. 2 weeks later, same thing, bust him again. This time, I charged him with underage consumption. And his parents hated me. They said I was picking on him. His parents were really rich, complaining to the chief. Oh, he's picking on my son, blah, blah, blah. So as part of his court stuff, he had to go to the alcohol class and he had to do community service, no big deal. And then you didn't hear nothing about it for a couple of years. So we fast forward, he's 17. And he comes up to me and he apologizes. And he says that he was selected in his class for being the most improved. And there was gonna be a banquet for the kids in the county for all that most improved kids. And they had to take the person that most influenced their life. Well, he chose me. So he stood up in front of this whole big monster room full of other students and their person who influenced their life, and he told this story, this brief story. So, why do I tell this? Because that was my biggest accomplishment, because I get rewarded myself for making a difference. And you have to find, each one of you, what's your passion? What do you believe strongly in? And you have to change the world around you to that. Don't just sit at home. Every day is a new opportunity. Every day you get to get into new things and learn new things. You're always got to learn. But then pass things on to other people. Because not everybody's as fortunate as you. You guys are in a good situation. You have clothes. You have shoes. Some kids don't have that. I guarantee you some kids in this school don't have that.
Yeah, that's true.
You should be thankful every day for what you have. And when you have children someday, you want to pass on not only your knowledge, but you want them to have a better life. And you'll see when you get older. But always do your passion, because you're not going to wake up when you're 70 and say, geez, I wish I would have worked more. No, you're going to say, geez, I wish I would have spent more time with my family, wish I would have traveled more. And you guys are sophomores, juniors, sophomores. Your senior year is going to be here like that, and it's going to be over. And then college, if you go to college. Everybody says, go to college, go to college. You know what I'm going to tell you? College isn't for everybody. College is way different than high school. College's goal is to weed you out. You know the graduation rate at SBC?
20.
Anybody guess?
25%.
33%.
Oof.
And that's at a small school. Their goal is to weed you out. You're pretty much guaranteed in high school nowadays, if you show up and you turn in your work on time, you'll pretty much pass, right?
It's true. The average grade in this class, I think it's 81%. And that's with a couple people haven't turned in anything, so it's really higher than that. You're the outlier if you're not turning work in.
When I was a kid, we didn't get no retakes. Did bad on a test, you're screwed. No retakes, no open book. None of that stuff. No, you can use your notes. What? This is all new to me. You guys gotta, some stuff you gotta learn, you gotta know. But college isn't for everybody. But if it's not for you, find something that's gonna make you better. You know, the schools, they don't spend a lot of time teaching about money. We need money in this world, right? To survive, buy things that we need, food, things like that, right? But money isn't everything. You don't wanna wake up and go to work every day and hate what you do. Because you're gonna be miserable and you're gonna be depressed. And that's gonna affect not only your own health, it's gonna affect your relationships. You gotta live. Find something you enjoy doing. Anybody wanna get into a trade?
Like, what do you enjoy?
Like plumber, electrician, carpenter.
Hold on. Can I ask you about careers?
Yeah.
Makeup artist.
Animator.
Animator. If you can,
An entrepreneur.
right, if you can, find a way to create your own business. Because then A, you work for yourself, B, you have some flexibility,
You can be a CEO.
and C, you'll have more passion if it's for you, versus if you're doing it for somebody else.
Do it.
But to become an entrepreneur, to start your own business, you have to have hard work and strong work ethic. Where does that start? It's a simple thing like planning. Okay? You write things down. Because every day is a series of little problems. Yes? Every day you run little bumps in the road. And if you keep putting those bumps in the road off, pretty soon those little bumps become big bumps. And then you're stressed out. And then you're depressed. And then you feel overwhelmed. Because that's the real world. When you were little, you were probably told you're special. Every day when you were little, you were probably told you're special, you're the best. Guess what? The real world, The real world doesn't care about that stuff. You have to make of your life. You have to go out and get it. You have to get, yes, you got a question? You have to go out and get what you want. Because it's not going to be handed to you. I tell my son all the time. My son had, he goes to SBC now, he's in the second year, but his first semester of his first year, he was in a world religions class. And he was told that his midterm in that class was he had to create his own religion. He had to do a write-up on it. And he knew about it the whole semester. And when do you think he started it?
Last day.
The night before.
Yep, that's what.
So he comes up to me, and like 10 o'clock at night, and he has me read it, and I look at him and I go, do you want to hear the truth or the warm and fuzzies? And he said, the truth. I said, this is garbage. I said, if I was your professor, I'd give you an F. Because it's obvious you started this the night before. He basically wrote up a one-page thing about his religion being based on basketball, and his God was LeBron James. It was garbage. So I scolded him for an hour. Now we're at 11 o'clock. And then he spent the next 3 to 4 hours working on a new one from scratch. He came back with like an 8-page write-up. And he, much better. And I worked with him for about another hour to kind of tweak it and clean it up. He ended up getting an A on that. But I told him then, and I've told him many times, you get out of college what you put into college. In your guys' case, you get out of school what you put into school. So if you just put half-ass effort, don't expect any more than that back. Remember, I was the guy in the back of the class that had my head down, and I'm here telling you, I still remember that, but I'm telling you to learn from me, and don't be that kid. Because everything you do, you should be passionate about. Even if you hate doing it, it's not gonna be forever. You're gonna have a career, you're gonna start a career, and then you're gonna be like, after 10 years, you're like, I don't really like this, and change to something else. I found that. I talked to a lot of friends, same thing. They do something for a while, and then you should do different things in life. You should. I am not a fan of doing one thing your whole life. That's kind of boring. What's that?
I said I'm not either anymore.
So you got to find what your passion is. Like I coach. That's one of my animals are my passion, my number one. But I coach. I work with kids. You know how much time I volunteer? I'm here sometimes 8 hours a day right now during basketball season with JV and varsity. I don't get paid. I have a little flexibility because of my work. I have my small business as a home inspector, but right now I'm like not working as much so I can put more into the basketball. Because to me, seeing when a kid gets it, because there's valuable lessons from sport. There's valuable lesson from winning, and there's valuable lesson from losing, and that's how you grow. So I enjoy that. I enjoy making it. I've been coaching since I was a freshman in high school. I've been coaching ever since. I coached before my kids were old enough. I coached when my kids were growing up, and I coach now when my kids are younger or older. That's my passion, animals and kids. So find what your passion is and give it your all. You're not going to be warm and fuzzy about it every day. Some days I get tired. But who has questions so far? Yes, what are your questions?
No, actually, you don't. I'm just.
You will find out as you grow up even more, not everything you were taught in life is true. Whatever you read on the internet is not always true. It's very innocent, but growing up, what happens on Christmas morning?
Presents.
Presents.
Okay, but.
Santa's not. Yeah, I know where you're going at. Santa's not.
It's in good nature, it's magical, but you're taught to believe something that's not true.
Yeah, Santa's not.
Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy.
The Easter Bunny ain't real.
There's other things in life that you're going to learn that maybe isn't the way it's presented to you. Don't get angry with that. Just be receptive and learn and grow. What's that?
Yeah, I've seen Santa. He exists.
Okay, but.
But think about it. When you were 6, if I told you Santa Claus isn't real, what would you do? You would get angry?
Cry.
You would try to justify it?
Break stuff.
Right.
Break stuff.
And you'll learn in life that some of the things you were told is not always true. But what it is true is you gotta work hard. In whatever you do, whether it's for somebody else or more preferably for yourself. What are your questions?
Okay,
You got questions. I know you do.
I have a lot of questions actually.
It's at 10%.
One of them, why is that thing there? Are you gonna show us slides of field being slaughtered?
No, last class asked that I play him a video. So I played him a video.
Okay.
Yeah, can we see
Was
one?
it a slaughterhouse video?
No, you don't want to watch it.
It
It's
does
so,
include
it's
some graphic
so,
images.
Shit, I'm not. Hold on, Miss Myers.
it's so nasty. It will really ruin your fucking appetite. Don't watch it, bro.
Anybody want to see it or no?
Yeah, I want to see what this looks like.
It's
I'm debating whether I want to go vegan or not.
What's that?
I really like vegan, so if this
I
changes
can't
it,
hear you, I'm sorry.
What?
never mind.
Infuriating has left the bro, like, he's asking.
Alright, that's the one question that's crazy.
Alright, raise your hand if you have a question.
Another
What's the
question.
statement?
Wait, what did he say?
Do you guys want to see a slaughterhouse?
If everybody's in agreement.
How
Guys, everyone, in the area. I can't watch it.
it's very
I'm
graphic.
probably watching the movie, okay?
It's not long, it's like 3 minutes.
Yeah, guys, 3 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. 3 minutes. I want to enjoy my Paige, you agree, right? Agree? Just put a thumbs up.
No, it don't make noise.
You agree, Matt?
If you don't want to watch it, you don't have to watch it. You can put your head down, you can step right outside the door. Whatever.
I want to enjoy
I'm really debating whether to leave or not,
Just stay
but
out.
I kind of want to see what happens.
Okay, let's put some animals here.
Sean actually went outside.
It's nasty. I'm telling you right now. Like,
Hey, turn out the light real quick.
I got you, man. I got you. Yeah, I got you. Lights are off.
it's
I'm
for
sorry.
me. I didn't. I've been not like animal-based products because when I used to eat, before I even knew what vegan was, no, like I'm about to start
Alright,
going
let's get
vegan,
started,
but before I
guys.
even knew what the word vegan was, I used to hate meat. I couldn't.
We're watching a video.
You start laughing, I'm gonna
Like I just hated my brain, and so then I started to look up things, and then the more I started
slaughterhouse.
mind you, I wasn't
Excited, Paige?
so I have people who are
Just said that's nasty.
and I started to know what chitlins were and what this.
Alright, so this is based, it's really quick. It's based on the idea when people use the argument that God made animals for humans.
And then we're seeing a documentary.
No one gets up.
I am God. I want you to live in peace and love one another. And I have made all animals in the world for you.
Children are born. I want to shut the hell up.
It's gonna show this. Watch, it's gonna Oh, no. It's gonna be like a little.
No, I've never seen a whole bunch of documentaries.
Who looks like cow?
You look cow.
Kids who grow up on farms.
Oh,
Okay, nobody cares.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't.
No, I can't watch this.
I just ate a cookie, so.
This one is so,
What the
it's
fuck?
ready for my throat coming out with girls.
Bath salts.
It's nasty, like, not this one's fucking, but I've seen videos of this
Wait, is this it?
because it's showing how you love loving animals, but then you pretty much
Okay.
And since I've made all the animals for you humans,
No,
I
I
can't
want
watch
you to
it.
torture them, kill them, and eat their flesh in my name.
Did they shoot him? Are you serious?
Korossy ready to deploy. Kill streaking mom.
This is not fun. Whoever's laughing, I swear to God, I'm going to kill you. Bro, I swear to God, if you laugh again.
It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny.
What is God saying to you? Obama is fake. What is that? Go vegan.
I saw another video.
I'm not gonna tell you guys how to
Have like a
feel.
knife.
You know how you feel this year.
I feel
You have to make yourself
I know that the food court last night tasted good.
I didn't watch it. I can't eat.
What is wrong with you?
I can't.
I feel bad.
Did it show it?
It was real brief. It wasn't like the video that I saw.
I
looked at it for 1 second. I see it. I can't use.
Oh, I'll give you a
Sorry, if you need to, if you want to reach out for any resources.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess.
Thank you for your attention.
That was a pretty good video. I don't know about Damn, she was following me. Use my Dango. Going after the Dango. Yeah, you can buy tickets and like the movie. Oh, you see that too? Here's what my mom
No, you're good. The only reason I want to cheat on is because the public chicken off.
I mean, you still see them on the angles all but
Yo, I remember the first time I bought a box of chicken, I'm saying that shit. Not even.
I get what you're coming from.
That's the only thing
Go back
that's
to those
going
angles.
on.
You're still gonna eat meat even though you just go back to those angles, right?
I don't know,
No,
maybe
it's okay,
like the
babe.
seasoning they put on it or something.
Yeah,
so
don't
I
laugh
just
at
I feel bad, but it tastes so good.
chicken. Like college chicken wings.
Wait, is your wife vegan too?
I'm divorced now, but yeah, when we were married, she was, of course. I don't allow any animal products in my house. I wouldn't be.
So if someone walks in your house with McDonald's,
Fucking spider bit me.
so if someone walked in your house with McDonald's, would you tell them to get out?
Yeah, there's not a lot of meat in my house.
Bro, yesterday
The same
I
way you would feel if somebody brought that dog in your house.
yo, last night was
After, I think it was called the Game Changer. After I watched that,
You know what you should do?
I just kept that going.
I think it's called The Game Changer on Netflix.
Yep, it's a new
I
one.
watched that, I was like, yeah, I'm going vegan now. And before I even knew what vegan was, I couldn't eat eggs because of the smell of it. And I knew something was off. Like, I don't know, like.
The Game Changers is pretty good. That's based on milk.
Yeah, I watched the other one, like the fork one and all that.
Nice, yeah. See, you got it.
Yeah, but before I even knew what veganism was or vegan, I couldn't eat eggs. Like, eggs made me so sick.
Chicken periods. That's what eggs are. Hence period. Think about it. Think about it.
Oh my god. Bro, did you just see what he said?
what?
What do you think eggs are?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
a chicken's period. Think
Oh.
about it when they wake up and that's
Oh, that's.
it. It's so sick. I mean, before I can't even eat eggs. So.
I mean, it's fine. Animals die no matter what.
I mean, I just hate the smell of eggs. It's so fucking disgusting.
Akila, when you say, oh wait, you were.
One more minute. Whoever opens the door, the evacuator about my hand. We have a fridge.